Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to take you guys through my planner lineup. I have watched so many planner lineup videos on YouTube before and I'm so excited to finally be making my own. Quickly, before you get into the video, take a guess how many planners I use on a daily basis. Just take a guess down in the comments. I'm really curious to see what you guys think, because I'm sure you've seen the thumbnail and it is like a whopping amount of planners, but I definitely don't use all of them on a daily basis. I'd also love to know how many planners are in your planner lineup. So if you have one planner or 17 planners or something, please leave them down below. I'd love to know what you guys are using so I can get some new recs, because as anyone with a full planner lineup knows, you are always secretly looking for new planners. So without further ado, let me take you over to the flat lay so you can see how many planners are in the planner lineup. Okay, what you see before you are all of the notebooks and planners that are currently in my collection that I'm currently going in and out of. Some of these I use on a daily basis, some of them I use on a weekly basis, some of these I use on an as needed basis, but essentially what I use each and every one of these for is going to be the topic of this video. So I'm going to go through and show you guys basically the ones that I use for productivity, the ones that I use for spirituality, the ones that I journal in, and just sort of some scrap ones as well. So get ready. This is the full collection. Okay, let's start with the ones that I use for productivity. So we're gonna start with my Hobonichi cousin. This is the April Start cousin, and I use this planner for everything pretty much. This is my everyday carry. This is where it all comes out in the wash. This is where, you know, I'm doing like memory keeping and pre-planning and daily to-do lists and journaling. I really just try as hard as I can to fill up every inch of this planner with something. And it is the one place that my brain just sort of trusts for information to go. I also do some budgeting in this planner. This is the planner that comes with me no matter where I am. So you have probably seen me talk about this planner in a lot of videos so far, and that's because it's the most important planner in my collection. If I could just have one planner, it would be this one, and this is the one that I definitely refer to as my planner. Moving on, the next planner that's in my collection that is for planning purposes. This is 2022 planner. A friend actually got this for me, and it's an eco-friendly planner. It's really cool. So it has weeks that look like this, which I'm really not a horizontal weekly gal, but I really like the little environmental and sustainability tips that it has each week, which I think is pretty awesome. I have not used this really that much, but I am sort of using it as a content planner. You can see for like one day in January, I tried to use it as a tarot planner, which I'll get to what I'm using for tarot in a second, but essentially I wanted to use it as a content planner. So this is a sample month, and then we're in April now, which I have not really filled out, but it's just something that gives me like a good overview of what I'm actually doing on a week-to-week basis. So I haven't used this much yet, but I'm going to try to start using it for content, and I will update you guys on how it goes. So let's now move on to spirituality planners. I have two of them, and they're not really planners, they're more like notebooks. So it's very common for people who are into the kind of spirituality that I'm into to have what's called a book of shadows. And this is the closest thing that I have to a book of shadows, okay? It's not even really a book of shadows. It's more like a notebook of things. This is a notebook therapy notebook. It's from their fall collection. I just really, really loved the fox on it. I thought it was so cute. And I started out thinking I would use this as a normal bullet journal, so I created an index, I created a future log, I even did some like monthly spreads and weekly spreads in it. You can see I have another weekly spread here, but it really morphed into more of like a spirituality journal slash Book of Shadows in the traditional sense, where I'm recording things about the cycle of the year. I have all the moon cycles here for the coming year. I'm taking, you know, notes on books that I've read and things like that, about sort of like the spirituality stuff that I am interested in. And it's not very full right now. I've only filled about, gosh, like 10 pages. Oh, I have a bunch of stickers back here. I didn't even realize I had these in this notebook. I've been looking for them. But yeah, so I have kind of been using this as a general note-taking for spirituality notebook. So not really a specific Book of Shadows, but that's kind of the closest type of notebook that one could refer to this as, but I don't even really use that terminology anyway. So that's that one. And then the second one I have is also a notebook therapy one from their fall collection. This is like the moon one, obviously, because it has a moon at the front. This is their standard size, and then this is their A5. I actually really vibe with the standard size. I'm usually like an A5 girl all the way, but I really like their standard size. It's a bit smaller and it's a bit more friendly. So if we open it up, this is really like a practice journal. So I do not have a prayer journal in the traditional sense because I don't really do prayers as of right now. But this is sort of like a dream journal, a tarot journal, a moon cycles journal, basically anything that I need to express through some type of journaling that as it relates to things in the spiritual realm. So actually in this like free gift folder, this was like from an Etsy package I got, and there's just like little pieces of paper in here that I can use as affirmations and sigils and things like that. And I left a couple pages blank in the beginning, which you can see there's like a quote here and it says dream journal. So I'm just sketching out some title pages, and I'm probably going to use these beginning pages for things like tracking what tarot cards I get, for example. So every time I pull like the Queen of Cups, I'm gonna like put a little tick next to the Queen of Cups so I can see what kind of energy is dominating my tarot readings, and sort of reflect back on that to see what sort of energy has dominated the year, for example. So that's what I'm going to do with these beginning pages, but I haven't set that up yet. But really right now, it just looks like this. So this I printed off with one of those little like hand printers. I think I have it right here. Yeah, the Canon Ivy. And I use the Canon Ivy quite a lot in this planner. So you can see I did a tarot reading, I dream journal. This is a dream I actually listened to, which was very fun. I do believe that dreams have sometimes really good advice for you. So I like listened to this dream and it worked out well. This was like a spread that I made to honor the Alleyman's Tarot, which I got last month. This is a Virgo full moon spread. In this little envelope, I have pieces of paper that I took from this that I put in here for affirmations. Yeah, just stuff like that. I'll often like paste in or draw in here, and it's really sort of loose. Again, this is also one that I haven't really used a ton of pages in, because I started these two journals pretty recently, but I really, really love this one. This is probably my second. If I could keep two journals, I would keep this one as second. Okay, so let's move towards like memory keeping and other journaling, I guess you'd call it. The main one here is this planner, which is my Hobonichi A6. So I'm not gonna open this planner because everything written in here is really, really personal. It essentially is my before bed planner. So the pages just look like this. This is a blank page from later this year. It does have the yearly sections at the beginning and everything like that, but I'm not gonna open it because what I do at the end of every day is I come into this planner and I just brain dump what is bothering me the most. So often the thoughts that go in this journal look really ugly, frankly. It's not something that I would put in my Hobonichi cousin, for example, because the Hobonichi cousin is more day-to-day journaling, memory keeping, things I want to remember. This cousin, or rather this A6 size, is really for me to be like my ugliest, purest self. And I find that unless I have a place to put the thoughts that are like haunting me, they will just continue to haunt me. If you are someone who has like any sort of mental illness, I really recommend doing something like this. Another thing that I do in here, if I can just like find a blank monthly. So for example, this is me betraying that I haven't really kept up with it through April so far, but for the monthly pages, for example, I'm coming in here and I'm filling out either something like gratitude every day, or I'm marking off, this week I had this symptom really bad or something like that. I'm also doing something similar for, again, I'm just trying not to show very much. I'm doing something for the yearly sections as well, where I just write in like, one thing I did for myself that day so that I keep myself accountable to doing things like that. And yeah, like you can see, I really have not been keeping up with it for April, but typically I try to at least do the journaling every night, even if I don't do the monthly and yearly sections, but I find this to be really, really helpful. And this just has a cover from a shop called, I think she's called like Sakura Handcrafts on Etsy. I love her covers. I think they're so cute. And I just really love the deer for this one. And it's in a cover on cover from the regular Hobonichi store. So that is that one. And then I also just have a regular journal. Oops, there's some like sticky notes attached to this one. A regular journal that's just in a Stalogy. And this is what I've been recording traveling in. So I went to Rome at the beginning of the year, / end of last year in January. And I just spent some time journaling my experiences in here. And then that was it. So when I travel some more, and actually I am traveling at the end of this month, I'll probably take this with me and journal a little bit in it as well. Lastly, I have this journal, which I really don't get to very much. This is a little notebook that a good friend of mine bought me when they were in Vietnam. They were in Vietnam for like a study abroad thing, and they brought this back for me because they knew I liked journals. So I started to use it last year as sort of a junk journal experimentation plan with me. So as you can see, I'm noting some games that I played. I'm messing around with dark academia. It's really kind of a very messy, very fun little journal that I can use whenever I just want to put some stickers down on paper, or this is from my Harry Potter stationery kit that I found in my closet that I had when I was like a literal child. So yeah, the sticker obsession goes really deep, y'all. So it's just kind of fun. Just kind of stuff that I want to lay out. And I've got a bunch more pages to fill out, and I think it's going to be really fun and keep me creative, feeling creative. It's kind of a place I can go whenever I want to do that. And lastly, we just have a couple of pretty boring journals, which are my like catch-all kind of, not even catch-all, but like whenever I need it kind of journals. So first we have the 2022 A6 Weekly, which I don't use as a weekly planner. I mostly use it when I'm planning out how I want the weeks in my cousin to look, because this is sort of like a mini version of that section. So you can see here I'm planning out when my buffer blocks will be, when my commute is, when my movie blocks will be, when I will plan out a long strategic block to work on my priority tasks. So this is just whenever I need it. I'm probably also going to keep it past this calendar year because I will undoubtedly have extra weeks to fill in, and the dates don't really mean anything to me since I'm just going to be using this as like a template planner. And then lastly, I don't even know what is in here, but this is a journal. This is a Loic term, 1917, that I picked up, gosh, a couple years ago now. And I used to be a big bullet journaler, so there's like, you can see I indexed some things. This was my 2020 yearly tarot. Wow, so it was like a long time ago. This is a graduation tracker, student loan tracker, books that I read, a connecting spread to like do something for my mind, spirit, body, self, community, and world every day. Ideal weeks. So like this is a bunch of like old bullet journal content. This is actually like I don't want to show you too much of that spread, but that's like a spread that I would definitely recommend for mental health, which maybe I'll make a video on it at some point. So it kind of gets into like project planning pretty quickly and devolves into like these scribbles, and I don't really keep doing anything that's very organized in this planner. So you can see I go through like a little bit of 2020, but eventually I just stop filling it out. I create like a weekly spread and kind of just stop filling it out for that. But I do continue to plan things like article ideas that I have, or, you know, doodling a little bit here and there. Yeah. So it's pretty much just like a catch-all. What I have now in it, you can see, is like, I try to get back into it in October. I do like sketches for like a D&D campaigns that I'm in. I plan out some goals, but this really isn't something that I'm referring back to on a regular basis. Usually if I'm like in meetings, for example, I will pull this out and I just need a piece of scratch paper. I'll just pull this out and I'll scratch away because, yeah, sometimes you just need a notebook that you can pull out and dump crap into. Yeah, I'll test washi swatches in here. This is from Notebook Therapy's fall collection also. I'll test pen swatches, just kind of general notebook stuff. And with that, I think you guys have now seen pretty much every notebook that I use in this household ever. I hope you liked this video, and let me know which notebook was your favorite in the comments down below, or how many notebooks you have in your collection. I would be super curious to know. Okay guys, that was my planner lineup video. You should have seen all the planners that I use on a regular or semi-regular basis. If you made it this far in the video, I have one additional planner surprise for you, because planner lineups are literally always changing. I don't know if any of you guys have this experience, but as soon as I line up all my planners and say this is definitively what I'm using, I go and I purchase another one. So this is the Full Focus planner. I wanted a more structured goals planner, and I don't have this in my lineup right now, but I may make a video on it sometime soon as I sort of start to practice using it. So even between filming the planner lineup and filming this outro, I couldn't keep my hands away from getting another planner. Anyways, if you've ever used this planner or any of the other planners that I have in my lineup, please let me know down below. I would love to know, again, what you guys are using, what you guys like, what works for you. If you guys want to stick around my channel, please feel free to like, subscribe, hit the bell notification to be notified when I post new videos about once a week. Typically on the weekend. So yeah, you can watch my videos while you plan, hang out with me a little bit. And if you'd like to watch another one, I will put one somewhere here on the screen. And thank you so much for watching.